Good afternoon. This is tutorial number 32 on perfect and major intervals. This is out of the Berkeley Music Theory Book 1 book. Okay, and this is the second tutorial in the series on intervals. Okay, so last time we talked about an interval as the distance between two notes. And if you're going one note name, that would be a second. If you're going two note names, that would be a third, and so on and so forth to the seventh. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to expand your mind a little bit. The last chapter we talked about a second. That is a simple way to describe an interval. We're going to get into what I say detailed naming now, okay? And what you're going to find first are all of these intervals in this tutorial are going to be based on the major scale, okay? So we're going to just take C, okay? We're not going to add any, we're not going to do a minor scale. These are all major scales. So there are 4 intervals that are considered perfect. And by perfect, I mean they are the most stable, okay? They don't really want to go anywhere, does not need to resolve. That resolve and go places mean the same thing. Okay, we're gonna play them here in just a second, but we are going to, first of all, talk a little bit about them. You see here under group 1, I say group 1 is going to be perfect. A perfect unison is the same note, a C and then another of the same C. You play 2 unisons together, or 2 unison notes, 2 notes that are unison, okay? I'll get it right eventually, and they are perfect. So I've seen that as a P, abbreviated as a P1 or a P unison, or I'll have to think about other ways I've seen it, but I've seen it several different ways. The next interval that is considered perfect is a perfect fourth. Okay, so you're going to take your C major scale, you're going to go from the first scale degree to the fourth scale degree, C to D, C to E, C to F. Okay, that's a perfect fourth there. Okay, and that is abbreviated as a P4. So if you take another one, let's say in the key of B flat, that would be like B flat to E flat. Okay, perfect fourth, stable. Now, the third one in this group number 1 is going to be the perfect fifth. The perfect fifth, C, D, E, F, G. It would be C and G. So we know from last chapter that is a fifth. And then we know from this chapter that it is a perfect fifth. Perfect means that it does not need to resolve, okay? Then the last one in group 1 is a perfect octave. So if you have a C and then you have a C that is 1 octave above, and we've talked about octaves and stuff, or a B flat and a B flat above it, that is a perfect octave. Does not need to resolve, doesn't go anywhere if you play it harmonically, okay? We abbreviate those in my class, P1, P8, P5, and P4. So what we're going to do here is, let's say you see number 1 under practice there. You're going to write me a perfect unison. So you're going to write another note that makes that that first note a perfect unison. Then on a P, I guess I could barely read that. That says P4. You're going to write that up. You're going to write from that note, which I believe is a D. I think my eyes might not be playing tricks on me. So D, and then you'll write up a perfect fourth from that. All right. So that's group 1. Group 1 is fairly straightforward. Here's where things get a little bit trickier. Group 2, intervals of a second, a third, a fourth, a second, a third, a sixth, and a seventh are called major when we're talking about a major scale. Wow. Okay. So if I've got C to D, it's in C major. So that is a major second. Wow. I probably should go back and re-record this to sound like, not make so many verbal mistakes, but I'm not going to. C to E is a major third. Now we said the sixth is the next one. So C to A, we found out is a sixth last chapter, but more descriptively, it is a major sixth, okay, in the major scale. And then major seventh would be C to B. Those intervals are considered major. So we know what a perfect interval is, and we know what a major interval is, okay? There will be no major fourths. There will be no perfect thirds, okay? It is descriptive, but only certain labels apply to certain intervals, okay? If you want to change an interval, then we'll talk about that in about 2 or 3 lessons, okay? All right, so we've named this. Now, remember from last chapter when you're doing your homework that if I put a up sign, I mean, I want an interval up above that. If I put a down arrow, I want the interval below that, okay? So on number 2, it says a perfect unison down. That's not too tough. But let's see the last one there, a perfect octave. If I have a D in the staff there, I'm going to write a D an octave below if I want to write a perfect octave interval down. Okay, this has been lesson 32, second out of 6 tutorials about intervals. This has been Dr. Morse. Thank you.